Yo, what's going on, guys? We're doing this Portland Trailblazers season preview and predictions again because you obviously know the trades went down. And if we're just going to look at the Portland Trailblazers roster right now to let you guys know, obviously Malcolm Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, Matisse Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Shaedon Sharpe, Anthony Simons, Jabari Walker, Chris Murray, Robert Williams, Rain Rupert, Toumani Camara, Kevin Knox. Then they have Moses Brown as well. And then two of their two ways are filled with John Brown and Ibu Baji, with one of them still being open. And I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys expect from this team? I think they're going to have a similar record to the Utah Jazz last year, where like they might actually look really competitive if they keep a lot of these older, like the vets on the roster. And then, you know, during the deadline, I think they're going to do a fire sale and trade the players to contending teams that are like looking for their Aaron Gordons, you know what I mean? They'll push them over the edge. But let's just get right into it. This is I mean, really, I think they could go 33-49 again. Now, I think they want to tank more, but Joe Cronin, I think he got what he wanted, and there's what they have to do right now is they were able to execute a 3-team deal for Milwaukee and Phoenix to do the whole Ayton deal, which I love because DeAndre Ayton's a 25-year-old who's a former #1 overall pick that when he was drafted, he was being mentioned in the same breath as Joel Embiid. So this guy, dude, has MVP, you know, potential at one point, people thought, and he had fallen out of favor with the Suns. So you basically got him for nothing, okay? And you got some pick swaps and a first. So like, I think for this team, the Blazers got themselves a good piece, as well as moving on from Jrue Holiday, which they freaking got themselves another haul with Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams. And then we're hearing that Malcolm Brogdon is going to get traded again, probably like sometime soon. So all in all, I think they've done a great job. So let me hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think? What do you think their record's going to be, and what do you expect this year? Hit that subscribe button if you guys want to support independent NBA journalism and help me get to 20,000 subscribers. So I definitely think the Portland Trailblazers, dude, they got a good haul. Like Joe Cronin, I don't think you're a good general manager, but you did Blazers fans well. Because right now, and obviously we saw that Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon passed the physicals. So the trade's done. Current starting lineup, Scoot Henderson. I guess it'd be they want to do Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe with Jeremy Grant and DeAndre Ayton. Then you have yourself Malcolm Brogdon, Matisse Thybulle, probably Jabari Walker, Chris Murray, Robert Williams, Toumani Camara, Rain Rupert, Kevin Knox, all off the bench. And then they also have Moses Brown, and then Ibu Baji and John Butler on two ways. So, I mean, we expect them to trade Jeremy Grant at some point. When, I do not know when they are going to trade Jeremy Grant. That's definitely going to be something of interest, in my opinion, because they're a team that I think has, like, this could be a quick rebuild. I mean, my friend the other day said it was a good comparison. So after this year could look, they could really be like the first year of the Thunder rebuild when they had Chris Paul, like Dennis Schroeder and Shea, the Thunder, and they had that push where they're like, oh, wow, like this team's a lot better than we thought. I think if they keep everybody for the full season, that's what this team could really be like. And then the following year, they maybe, because all the vets that they had became decent assets and they like traded them at the deadline or at next offseason, that this team, the Blazers, could very well be like the Thunder. And I like what they did, okay? And also you'll hear, this is going to be like an extra long video because I think I'm going to add, because this is the second attempt on this Blazers off-season preview. And again, I think this team, ceiling is a play-in team, okay? Like ceiling-wise playing. I think they could have a very similar season to the Utah Jazz, and maybe they tank the end of the year to make sure that they're like a top 10 pick. And that they trade some guys like at the deadline. But besides that, yeah, I think this is a team that they're capable of doing a lot, okay? I think it's more of a question of, can they fully execute what they want to achieve, which is I think having a really good draft pick in next year's draft. But I also think that right now, Malcolm Brogdon's trade value isn't as high as it could be if he plays well and they're at the deadline and a contending team is like, well, we have a salary filler, maybe like the Chicago Bulls, and they're like, here's 2 first-round picks, one to take on Lonzo Ball and his contract and another one for Malcolm Brogdon, and you just walked away with 2 first-round picks because he took on Lonzo Ball's contract, which is like a good salary match for Malcolm Brogdon's. It's not that bad, you know? Or if someone calls and they're like, oh, my center blew out his knee and I have, you know, what if Bam Adebayo blows out his knee and they're like, we need a center. And they're like, here's Duncan Robinson, 2 second-round picks, and maybe a pick swap. So I don't know. You know, I don't know what the trade value is anymore. And I know supposedly there's some beef between the Miami Heat, Joe Cronin and stuff, but a lot is capable because of the situation that we're in. And I think that's one of the things that you sit here and you wonder, like, okay, why would the Blazers... And also the other thing is like, I personally don't see Anthony Simons starting because I think Shane Sharp is a better player playing the 2 guard position than being a 3. I think the 3 relies on him being way more physical of a player and definitely bulking up rather being a 2 where he's the bigger player. Like at the 2, he has the size advantage. At the 3, the size advantage goes away. So that's my thought right there, which then allows you to have Anthony Simons be, you know, your 6th man, albeit a very expensive one. But that's the thought process in my mind when you look at a team like the Portland Trailblazers. So I do think best case scenario, this team is a play-in team because they end up winning too many games. But I really do think they'll have a similar record to the Jazz where, you know, maybe a little worse, and that they still are a top 10. Like, I also think, like, maybe 2 years this team, not this season, but next season, they're worse than they are this season because they'll be, like, second year of the rebuild and trying to get one of their picks. But, I mean, everything's on the table as it's definitely mind-boggling to see how things are decided amongst NBA teams in terms of when they should rebuild, what's the cost for this player. And I think we're definitely going to get a good idea of that looking at the Blazers. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. But yeah, these are your Portland Trailblazers. You know, this is a team that's got Malcolm Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, Matisse Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, which isn't a bad starting lineup. Robert Williams, Chris Murray, Jabari Walker, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, which could be their second unit. And then their third unit would then be like Rain Rupert, Tamani Kamara, and Kevin Knox, and then Moses Brown. And they have 1 roster spot open as well as a 2-way. But, man, that's my thoughts. I want to hear your guys' down below. But peace out.